Okay, welcome to Stouffville Honda. My name is Brian, and thank you for tuning in today. We're going to have a short video series that talks about why Honda is so awesome. So today we're going to cover off Honda quality. Second video is about Honda safety, and the third video is going to be on the Honda Civic. Now this video I'll be presenting in English, and I have a counterpart named Aaron who will also be doing this in Chinese in a second set of videos. So I want to talk about Honda quality first. You're probably shopping a lot of brands, and a lot of brands are probably making claims that they're number one in quality. It's not true. It is Honda. Honda has the highest quality out of any mainstream non-luxury car brand, and if anyone tells you otherwise, bring them to me. I've done global research. I've looked into European markets where they have more brands than we have here. Honda's number one there as well, and I can actually walk the walk in just a moment, so follow me. Okay, now Honda's been voted the number one value brand for the last 5 out of 6 years. So check out Kelly's Blue Book. The last 5 out of 6 years, the number one value brand. Now you might say, well, Brian, there's cheaper cars out there. Absolutely, there's cheaper cars out there. But a cheaper car doesn't mean it's going to be better on gas. It doesn't mean it's going to be better in quality. It's not going to have better resale value. And a cheaper car does definitely not mean that it's going to be safer for your family if you get into a car accident. So that's really what I want to cover off today, all the key things that make Honda such an incredible value for you as the buyer. So let's talk about resale value. If you ever look at a Canadian Black Book, you will see that Honda has the highest resale value in almost all of their brands, okay? Number two is they're almost all top safety picks, and look for safety in the next video that we'll be posting. The safety is, I can't say enough about it. It's just so important. So please take that seriously when you see the second video. Fuel efficiency. I'll be showing you in a moment. Honda has what's called Earth Dreams technology. I'll show you this on the motor. Honda has challenged itself to reduce emissions by 30% because they're a really green car company, and number two, be the most fuel efficient car in every class of vehicles where it competes. So if you're looking to save fuel, which is actually the number one purchase reason among Canadians, you're coming to the right place with Honda. They're absolutely amazing on gas. Okay, now quality with Honda is absolutely amazing. If you look around a new Honda motor, it's kind of subtle, but you're going to see little ink marks in places, and I'll point those out. It's actually Honda's assembly process. It's actually part of the secret sauce to quality. So I asked about those little ink marks when I was doing some training in Markham, in Honda's head office in Markham. And basically, it's Honda's assembly process. The people that put these vehicles together, these are highly skilled, highly motivated professionals, and they're after one thing every day, and that is perfection. Their livelihood literally depends on it. So imagine you and I were on the assembly line together, and the vehicle came to me first, and I install my component, then the vehicle goes to you. You can't even touch your part until you made sure that my part was done perfectly. Okay, check, it's good. The person after you will double check your work. So there's this ongoing overlap of quality control, and in every pay period, quality assurance is measuring the performance of each assembly team. And if they're building them perfectly, they get a cash bonus every pay. So it doesn't matter if your Honda was made on Monday morning after the Super Bowl or Friday afternoon of a long weekend, the commitment to quality is there. That's one of the reasons they have the highest retained value. If you're going to buy a used car, you want to buy a used Honda, they don't die. It's absolutely incredible. Now, another thing I want to talk to you about is the cost of maintenance. Most people look at the payment in front of them, and they don't really think about the overall cost of ownership. So again, we're super fuel efficient, the absolute number one quality out of any mainstream non-luxury brand, and the cost of maintenance is like so low. Typically, you're going to change the oil in a vehicle every 5,000 or 6,000 kilometers. That's a fairly common service interval in the industry. But Honda's a very green car company, and they said, well, how can everybody need an oil change at the same time? It doesn't make sense. So there's over 20 sensors in the motor checking the oil for you. It's called Honda's Maintenance Minder System. So when the vehicle is new, it's going to indicate that the oil life is at 100%, and then over driving cycles and conditions and so forth, that number starts ticking down. When it gets down to 15% of the oil life, it'll indicate that it's time to service the vehicle soon. And at that point, there's no need to rush in. It just means soon. You still have 15% left. Now that number will eventually go down to zero and then into minuses. Try to avoid the minuses if you can. If you change the oil unnecessarily, it's bad for the environment. It's also a waste of your money. So you're probably going to get at least 10,000 kilometers between oil change. You may get a lot more. You may go a whole year without service. Basically, it costs peanuts to operate. So it's an extremely low cost of ownership, and that's one of the reasons, number one in value for the last 5 out of 6 years. Okay, so you may think that you want to buy a domestic because you're supporting the local economy. Well, you may not realize that Hondas are made in Canada. The two top selling brands for Honda is the Honda Civic and the CR-V. They're made right here in Ontario by Canadians for Canadians, and I'm real proud of that. And for a very personal reason, I'm an Army veteran. I served Canada for 14 years, and made in Canada is important to me. And I'm very proud that our best-selling Hondas are produced right here in Canada by Canadians for Canadians. Okay, a lot of people that are considering a vehicle, they want to make sure that the car company is environmentally friendly, and that's one of the key things for Honda. They really are a green car company. So when you look at a Honda motor, when you see Earthdreams technology, Honda has challenged itself to reduce emissions by 30% and also be the most fuel efficient vehicle in every class where it competes. And this is actually a great example, the Honda Civic, but Honda is committed to the environment, so you can sleep well at night knowing that. Okay, so don't forget the cost of ownership. You need to look beyond the payment. Honda, again, very green car company, you don't change the oil every 5,000 or 6,000 kilometers, which is a fairly common service interval in the industry. So there's over 20 sensors in the motor that's going to check the oil for you. And when the car is new or when it's been serviced, it's going to indicate that the oil life is 100%. And then over driving cycles and conditions and so forth, that number starts ticking down. When it gets down to 15% of the oil life, it'll indicate to you that it's time to service the vehicle soon. Now, when you get that notification, there's no need to panic, there's no need to rush in. You still have 15% to go, but it just means soon. Now, eventually that number will work its way down to a 0 and then go into minuses. Try to avoid the minuses if you can. But if you change the oil unnecessarily, A, it's bad for the environment, and number 2, it's a waste of your money. So you're probably going to get at least 10,000 kilometers between oil changes in your new Honda, probably a lot more actually. You might even go a whole year without service. It really depends how you operate the vehicle. So the car will let you know, save your money and save your time. Okay, another thing I should point out with Honda, it's one of the things that make them so fuel efficient, is this little green button right here, Eco Assist. When the system's on, there's a little bit of a power reduction, but it does save you fuel, and there's fewer emissions going into the atmosphere. So, drive with a little bit less power, less emissions in the atmosphere, and you will save more money. So that's just a little bit of Honda quality and why they are the absolute best in value for the last 5 out of 6 years. So remember, #1 in quality, top fuel efficiency in almost all the brands. You're going to have the highest resale value in almost all the Honda brands. They're actually a real joy to drive too. I should have mentioned that. But quality, resale, fuel efficiency, and the next video is going to be on safety. So stay tuned for that, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Bryan with Stouffville Honda.